A good win. You know, Texas came in here playing really good basketball. You know, obviously coming in with a lot of confidence coming out of their last game and beating OU like they did. They were coming in here, I thought, with a lot of confidence, just reading their comments and things. They were, you know, feeling very good as they should have been. They were a different team with Kabongo. You know, I watched pretty much every game that they played with him in there, and they had a different look. And really preparing for this second game with Texas, we didn't talk much about the first game just because I did feel that they were a different team. We came out, I thought, very good defensively. I thought defensively, other than giving up some threes, which their ball movement we gave up some threes because their ball movement was a little quicker than our feet at times. But our offense was headed towards the sideline too much, and that they turned us over and led to some easy baskets at halftime. All their points were either off threes or off turnovers. But the last 5 minutes of the first half, I think we went on an 18-2 run, was probably the difference in the game, period, from that point. But I liked our defense in the second half. Thought it was some of the best defense we've played in a while. In the second half, it was very, very good, and made our free throws. That was big for us.
How big of an emphasis was it to slow Kabongo?
Well, that's all we talked about the last 2 days. You know, to the point where I told our coaches earlier today after shoot-around that, you know, we've talked so much about Kabongo, you know, I had to reiterate before the game to our players that now you got to understand they have other really, really good players, you know, a lot of good players, but we put a big emphasis on slowing him down. Their last 5 games that he's played in, that ball's been in his hands 90% of the time, and you know, we thought he was a pretty big key to their team.
Were you trying to get the ball out of his hands?
No, trying to keep him out of the paint, not necessarily trying to get the ball out of it. You know, you can't. We trapped him a few times. That was a little bit, but our biggest thing is try to keep him out of the paint, try to keep him out of there, and I thought we did a great job. Obviously, I thought we did a terrific job.
If you were judging Markel Brown's slam dunk, what would you do?
With the first half one, you know, it was hard for me to see, to be honest with you. I saw he did a little whatever he did, but it was hard for me to see. But nothing surprises me with him. I mean, no, we had a few opportunities. We let a few opportunities slide us by in transition today that we didn't complete. We were very sloppy with the ball, 18 turnovers, both teams. But no, nothing he surprises me athletically. There's not too many more athletic guys out there.
FYI, he ranked #1 of all his dunks.
He said that?
Uh-huh.
Of that one?
Uh-huh. You got to see it on tape. You're going to have to see it.
It's pretty good. I don't know. I didn't see it. I'm just glad it went in the hole. So, you know. But I liked his game tonight. I thought he played a good game. I thought he played a good game on both ends.
Because of what they did the other night, was that about as uncomfortable a 13-point double-digit win as you had?
Yeah. No, I was.
Impressive.
You know, it was. You know, it was in the back of I think everybody's mind a little bit. And you know, I've studied that game twice on how did they get back in that game, and because you know, I figured we could be right back in that situation. And we had our guys watch it too. We watched it, and we controlled things on our end the way we needed to. They turned us over a couple times. We were a little lackadaisical, but by that time, I think the game was in hand.
Coach, the second time through the schedule, Marcus Smart not getting the numbers he had the first part of the season, but I guess because the defenses have been keying on him more. But how has that worked out now that you think about it? He's not getting the numbers, but he's making plays and getting everybody else involved. He seems to be going to the bucket a little stronger, more confident.
Yeah, you know, Marcus has had a few games like he had today where he starts out slow. He starts out and he's, you know, not really in his element. And he's had a couple games like that. And then I took him out just to settle down. I wasn't happy, but I took him out to settle him down a little bit and just, you know. But you can always count on him coming back and doing something positive. His stat line's always amazing. You know, he always ends up with great stats, except for the turnovers. But you can always count on if he's had games where he didn't have any assists in the first half, and next thing you know, at the end of the game, he's got 6, or no rebounds, and then he's got 6 or 7 rebounds. And so it doesn't, you know, it doesn't overly concern me because I know we were going to get something out of him. But when you know, when he's locked in from the beginning, it obviously makes our team that much better. And LeBron, you know, I like the pace he's playing at right now. You know, he might have had his best practice yesterday too. I mean, he was really good in practice. So hopefully we can keep, you know, that's the key to LB is consistency, that big word for him. And he's shown a little bit of consistency, but I'm not going to be standing on top of a building and yelling and screaming yet. So, but we'll see.
Talking about Marcus's influence, I bet you had 5 or 6 different guys on the floor diving for balls today.
No, that we just talked about that as a staff, how exciting. I thought we played with that little sense of urgency that I don't think we've played with in a little while. Now, we got down at West Virginia, and I thought, well, we regrouped and really had a little fight to us at West Virginia. Our guys were a little upset with a lot of things going on down there at first, the way things were happening. But against TCU, I didn't think we had much fight to us. I wasn't real happy with our performance, to be honest with you, at TCU. And we've talked about the last 2 days how we need to play. And we're not always pretty, as you know. Well, we're not, you know, but can be. I said we can be a physical team. We can be a team that dives on the floor. We can be a team that kind of just comes at you at times. And it was good to see guys diving on the floor. I'm glad you mentioned that because that's something we've just talked about. It was great to see that sense of urgency from our basketball team.
Travis, you've gone through the things you liked and disliked today, but as you look at these last 2 regular season games, you know, at Ames, one of the toughest places to go, and K-State, who's been battling with you guys up in the upper echelon, you like the way that shapes up going into postseason? Because this ought to be a pretty challenging week.
It does. I was talking to John Holcomb today about it a little bit, telling him that, you know, these last 3 games really should help us maybe hopefully in postseason. You know, we want to win them all, but also we can learn a lot. You know, you can really, you know, because we're going to be tested, no question. And we'll have reference points from either way. So, no, I think it's good. I think it's good. I'm glad we're going into these games 22-6 and 12-4. I think that's what we are. So I'm glad we're going into these next 2 games having that. Yeah, I think it's a good test for our teams to see where we're at, to see things. Because I still don't think. I still think we could play better. I still think I hope we can for a 40-minute game.
One guy that you've always spoken highly of is Kirby Gardner. I mean, he's played really well, but they didn't split the stat sheet. But
Right, no.
one of his games.
I signaled on him. He was the first guy I signaled out in the locker room to the team, in front of the team. I thought he just gave us, I wish I could have got him more minutes, and probably should have, but he gave us an incredible spark defensively. Really, 2 steals, did a great job on Kabongo, and that's what you need. We need guys when you're heading down through the stretch and heading into tournament play. You're going to need some guys to step in and give you some good minutes, whether it's 7 minutes, whether it's 5 minutes, or whether it's 10. You know, the Kirby Gardners and those guys need to make an impact, positive impact when they come in the game, and he made a positive impact.
We had an 8- and 9-man rotation, which might be like the first time ever.
It's been a while. It's been a long time, but I'm very comfortable with that. And even Socek's been playing really well in practice, but there's no room right now. Been playing really well, so. But yeah, I'm very comfortable with Kirby Gardner in the game. I am very comfortable. And one thing I wanted to try is get Marcus off that ball a little bit. We asked him to do so much, and so I threw him out there, and that group was pretty good when Marcus was at the 2. Just got him off the ball a little bit. Didn't put as much. Have to let him, give him a break a little bit, because everybody's coming at Marcus. I mean it's amazing how physical everybody is against him and tries to do certain things, and but that goes with the territory when you have that reputation as the type player he is, as a great player. But there's no question people are coming at him.
Talk about the confidence you have in Brian Williams to guard almost every position on the floor.
Love Brian Williams. Brian Williams is, I just, I'm itching to get him in the game, really, usually, because I know he's going to get a steal, deflection, and he can guard anybody. He can guard any player on the court, and he does it with great energy, and more importantly, he wants to. He loves that row. We'll tell him, go get this guy, and he's going to almost sick him. I mean, he gets after it. Love his energy level. Getting slowly, still not near where he was last year, but slowly getting back. But as I said, he'll never get back, but to where he was at this point last year, because it's impossible. but he's looking good. He's helping us. He's definitely helping us.
Getting a guy like him back is almost like the NBA getting a trade mid-season or something,
Yeah.
getting an extra part almost.
Yeah, it is, and you know, a guy that's been through it. So, no, I just love his energy level, his size, and he's getting more and more confidence, more and more confidence. He played several games there without much confidence, I think, and not because of his game, because of his hand. He was just worried, I think, worried about his hand. I don't think he's worried about it quite as much. A little bit. They threw a lob to him tonight and went up with only one hand. If he'd went up with two, he probably would have got it, but he's still going up and rebounding with one hand and doing some things with one hand. If you watch closely, we see it in practice more than you probably see it in games. So he's not there yet, but he's definitely making an impact on our team.
Did you expect to give Philip Jurek this many minutes today?
Yeah, we thought that, you know, there's certain games Philip can play more minutes in. We thought this game, we even thought TCU, and he got in foul trouble at TCU, but that would have been a game that we needed him in there. You know, teams that, you know, have big guys like him, he can play. But it's when, you know, when there was certain lineups that we had to get him out. When they threw Lamert, or what do you call him, at the 5 spot, they picked and popped us a little bit. But I took him out, and he said, "I got him, Coach. I can get him." And then later on, he actually did a great job on him. Great job. So Philip always enjoys the challenge of it, but there's certain guys he definitely does better against.
Well, it seems fitting that Markel's 1,000-point comes on the backboard.
Yeah, I didn't even know. I didn't know he was getting close. I would, if you'd asked me, I thought he'd been over the 1,000-point mark already. But yeah, wild shot. Definitely wild shot. So.
With all the injuries this team's faced in the past couple seasons, how refreshing is it that this team's pretty healthy at this point in the season?
Oh, I don't spend a whole lot of time thinking about it, to be honest with you. We have had our share of craziness. Everybody goes through it, and, you know, it's nice to have some options. It's really helped us, and we don't practice hard that much anymore, but really helped us when Brian got back for practice purposes. We went for so long there where we weren't getting much out of practice at all. But our practices are very competitive when we do practice a little bit. Right now, you know, we practice hard on Mondays and usually on Fridays, believe it or not. And Fridays are not for very long, and Mondays are a little bit longer, you know. But it's helped in a lot of areas.
How big was it for Phil Forte to hit some shots tonight, kind of break out of that slump?
Oh, I hadn't put much thought to that either. You know, I don't worry about him too much. As long as he's playing defense and doing the other stuff, I always think the next one's going in with him anyway. I don't, you know, I didn't even realize he was in. I mean, somebody mentioned it to me earlier, or before the game, actually. I hope Phil gets going. Like, has he not? I hadn't even thought about he hadn't. I really haven't.
How important is he going to be as you kind of go into postseason?
He's a big part of our team. No question. He stretches the defense. He's one guy that our guys actively look for, especially in transition, try to get him shots. And he can separate a game with his threes, and he understands where we want him to get them. But no, when we've played our best, he's usually played pretty well.
Anything else to say?
Thank you.